So the top sales guy out here in New Holland said that he would be on camera and I could interview him if I wore his hat. So you know what? I'll put my Kubota hat up, but I'm like, man, your machine's got Kubotas in them. This one's got a D902. That one's got a D1305 Kubota. But yeah, I'll rock his hat because he's doing me a solid and giving me a solid interview on the machines and exactly how they work, what's in them, all that stuff. Okay, so I'm going to try out this mini skid from New Holland. It's a C314. It's got typical track design. It's got these meaty tracks that tear up your yard pretty good, but they'd be amazing in a construction site. This is not like homeowner kind of stuff, but contractors might want to use this at home also. So you have that option. Okay, I've got Jay here from New Holland who's going to give me some more detail on this because I've never seen one up close before. So anyway, so tell us a little bit about what this is.
Excellent. So we've got here our mini track loader, our C314 from New Holland Construction, an in-house product that we're happy to have. On this version, we're looking at a 40-inch model. We've got two of these, one being 36 inches and one being 40. So we do have the ability to get through a narrow gate. This guy's going to be set up with 10-inch tracks, although we do have a 7-inch option on the narrow model. It's running a 1305 engine that's going to produce 24.8 horsepower as well as 57 foot-pounds of torque. On the front end, we have a CII coupler as well as standard auxiliary hydraulics with an optional case drain and 14-pin connector. The overall profile of the boom is going to be radial to increase the amount of breakout, and the overall dump height is going to net you about 86 inches. If we come back to the operator station, you'll see we're running a true pilot system. There are no mechanical linkages on this. In addition, when we built this guy, serviceability was huge, and you can just see all of the access that we grant you guys with this equipment.
Oh, so the pump stack's right there.
One of the other things we did when we built this engine was we created an inverse profile for it. So we have the radiator at the front, meaning that it's going to pull all the air away from the operator rather than blowing that on your legs. Again, a 1305 in here, 1.3 liters of displacement. That'll put out about 24 horse and 55 or 57 foot-pounds of torque. Another thing we like to add when we're showing this engine and the engine bay is that there are no sidewalls. When we talk about serviceability and replacing components...
I noticed that hood is gigantic.
That's a steel hood as well. That's not plastic. That's the real deal, folks. Now, looking at the tracks and the tension system, we don't have a tie rod or twist system, no nuts. This is going to be you tension up just like a true track loader, so you got a grease jerk. Exactly. Yeah. Now we talk about track deflection. We want to be at the center bogey. You want to jack the machine up and have about a half inch to measure your deflection there.
So then this is a 3,500 pound machine, right?
Correct. So it's going to run 1,400 pounds at a 50% tipping load and about 1,000 pounds at a 35% tipping load.
Gotcha. Okay, and then how much are the counterweights?
So the counterweights are only on the larger model, so the 42-inch. When you get into the 35-inch model, you're going to actually have a reduced profile, and you're going to have narrower tracks, of course. Another interesting little tidbit about this is the tracks are reversible, so we have the ability to go from a narrow design to a wide design just by adding a spacer behind the drive sprocket.
Really?
So you can run a narrow unit in a wide configuration for increased stability. And the tracks are interchangeable.
Huh, so it really is the same machine, just a different track and just the spacing of the...
Absolutely.
Oh, that's cool. I did not know that was an option. And of course, you've got your cup holder.
Yeah. You know what's been the most well-received comment, though, is our phone holder. That way you don't have it in your pocket and it's not bumping up side by side when you're on this platform.
Yeah.
Now, talking a little bit about the platform as well, we have an operator presence switch in here. So if you hit an excess angle, it'll lock up the hydraulics. Now, we can override it, but typically, I mean, we want to keep the safety features on.
That's in the step.
That's in the step. So if your operator's on here, we have this machine keyed on. A, if you get off the platform, it will lock the hydraulics. And B, if you have an excessive angle, it'll detect it, and it will also kill the machine. Again, a safety feature.
So the machine will still be running if you step off, but the hydraulics will not operate.
Correct.
Okay. So you can't run yourself over.
You can't unless you really try. You got to override the hydraulics. But again, we don't suggest that, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then park brake. This is a turn on and off your auxiliary.
Yep. So being that we have the 14-pin connector, you, of course, can run skid steer type attachments. It's a CII coupler. That being said, I mean, you usually have your broom with an angle function, or you have, a blower with a chute or a deflector. We're going to be able to actuate those with these auxiliary buttons. You also have, of course, your proportional valve, right? So that's going to control your hydraulics, and we do have a detente in the forward position. The machine is equipped with float, so we do have the ability to float the bucket. And of course, you have your RPM gauge here in the center, and that's
So if you're running, say, a grapple, you can do it with your thumb?
That's right.
Oh, that's
Now,
awesome.
in addition to that, while we're chatting about grapples, we have a one-way, two-way diverter here. So you can choose between having a hammer set or a two-way hydraulic. So if you're running a uni system, or again, like a grapple where you want two-directional flow.
High tech.
Thank you, sir.
And what's the MSRP on one of these?
So I'm going to give you Canadian dollars. I'm the Canadian rep.
Oh, man.
I see these move in Canada for somewhere around that 52,000 Canadian mark.
So 52,000 Canadians, about $5 American.
If that. Now, we do have a suite of financing options, of course, as well. So, I mean, there's no deal we like to walk away from. At the end of the day, you reach out to your dealer and we'll find a way to get you in the right piece of equipment.
Hey, and I can make Canadian jokes because I am Canadian and I went to high school in Toronto.
That's why we get along so well. I just came in from Toronto.
Oh, did you?
Yes, sir.
On the attachment, the connectors here, what is this?
So that's going to be your 14-pin connector, which is ISO standard for skid steer loaders. It's essentially the skid steer electrical system. Now, that being said, it's worth noting this is the CII coupler, not a skid coupler.
Yeah.
When you have the...
Because this is just standard mini attach.
That's right. When you have the 14-pin connector, so the case train and the 14-pin are going to be optional. Typically, I see our dealers outfit these with this equipment. It just adds a wider range of attachment that you're able to drive. The half-inch auxiliaries are standard, but having the case drain and the a low-pressure return to your sump really adds to your fleet of attachments, right? You can run those more...
I think my mulcher, my Harley rake, a few of those have the case drain.
Yeah,
but
you're more
I've
demanding.
never seen that.
So the more demanding attachments are absolutely going to run that case drain. So we're seeing this more and more. I know that some vendors, you have to add it on after the fact. It's not a factory option. These are from the factory. And when you look at our attachments, we have about a 55-page book of attachments that have been engineered against this machine. And you'll see on the more high-demanding ones with the extra functions that we use that 14-pin connector to direct that. Again, like a chute, like a deflector, if you want to angle your broom.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for the info, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for joining
That was
us.
a whole lot more detail than I possibly could have done reading
Happy
the
to
brochure.
help.
Okay, I'm going to try this one out. Auxiliary, park brake. I don't know the park brake.
That's to operate the hydraulics. That's the parking brake. This is front, back, left, right. The horn.
Yeah.
This makes the boom go up, down, turtle sprocket left, right. That's your throttle when you get going, wide open.
Okay. And then, so that.
Right.
Okay, this is a little different than I'm used to. Oh wow, this does have, it does have a little bit of power to it. Oh, this thing is smooth. Okay, the controls on this one, they're kind of strange. I'm used to joysticks, but with this is definitely different. But I kind of like it. It's really easy to use. Let's get some throttle. Oh yeah. With the speed of this, you'd be able to move really fast. You'd be able to move a lot of material really fast. I do like that. That's pretty wicked. Yeah, so like with my machine, my big one at home, you lay it all the way down, and see that gap in the bottom? Mine goes all the way to the bottom, but the way this is, you gotta push to operate again, and you can lean that straight down, and you go straight in to scrape it. Oh yeah, I really do like this machine. Wow. Okay. I see what's missing in my life. I think I'm missing this in my life.
All right, Greg, you've ran a lot of mini skid steers. It's a hobby of yours. What do you think of this?
It's one of the smoother machines I've ever run, honestly. I wasn't sure about the controls at first. You know, I'm not a big fan of all the safety features that they have on machines here. I'm kind of used to the Chinese machines. You can just jump off it, you can walk beside it and move it, which is not safe and you should never do because you could run your feet over, and if you trip, you can run yourself over. But man, this thing is smooth, and this Kubota D1305, which I've never seen in another machine, only the New Holland in the case. I've seen the 1305. It's a beast, and it'll just push right into anything. It doesn't care. So here's Brock from Rock Hill Farm. He's trying out this Mini. Now he's got a Bomba light at home, and he's tried my Direct V1000. I wonder what he thinks about this. So what do you think of this little Mini?
It's quick and responsive. I always describe things the same way, that you can either call something responsive or jerky, and this is very responsive. It goes when you run it.
Yeah, it just seems smooth and responsive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this feels in this short area faster than my other machines.
Yeah, it moves quick.
I need to ask him what the top speed is. I agree with that.
Yeah, let's find out.
Okay, Brock just got out of this New Holland E42D mini excavator, which to me, it looks amazing. So now that you've operated that, I know that you've got those new machines that I know you're a big fan of. Sunward, yeah. Which looks awesome, but I haven't seen one in person. The mystery machines, I've operated one of those. You've tried out my Kimron machine. So just basically in a dirt parking lot, how does this compare to the other ones that you've operated?
This is a premium machine. It's a step ahead of most of your Chinese equipment. I say it feels like the Sunward or a Kubota or a John Deere. It's a really nice machine. What jumped out to me about this one in particular is their precision, like computer controlled grading system that measures the slope of the machine. It measures your dig depth, your dig distance. And so if you're on a slope and you have a trench that you want to be 4 foot deep at one end and come out even with grade on the other end, it will guide you through that. And like if you're digging at the right depth and you go a little too deep, it'll beep at you and the screen will tell you like you're deep enough, which replaces the guy in the trench with the grade stick. So
That's
that has
cheating.
Yeah, it is. And that's not obviously a stock feature that automatically comes on the machine, but it's an advanced option for the professional operator.
Wow. I honestly didn't even know that existed.
I've used a skid steer that had it, but you have to, there's a learning curve, and so I can't fully utilize it, but it's impressive technology.
I would say so. Okay, well, I think that ends my line of questioning how it compares to a Chinese mini excavator, because it really doesn't compare with the technology, does it?
Well, I think what's interesting, because not every customer and not every one of our viewers is interested in that part of it, but I would be interested if you run that to see what you think about just how smooth the controls are and stuff.
Yeah, I want to. because I've never operated a machine like that. So I am in line, and I plan to get in that machine and see how it feels. And I'll let you know how it feels too. And then I imagine I already know the answer. I'm gonna want more toys, and I already have enough toys. And okay, let's go. Okay, I get my turn trying out this thing. I've never operated a machine like this before with all these fancy electronics. So tell me a little bit about this and what all this fancy stuff is.
So what we've got in here is a 2D machine control system. Right now we have it set up to our laser we have on the side, a Leica laser. However, we can also run this with just a traditional benchmark. What you guys will notice is we have multiple sensors on here. We have horizontal and vertical position as well as sling tower positions. What we do is we give you the ability to set a given grade, and then ultimately your machine will indicate when and how far you are from that grade. What it does is it gives our operators the ability to hit that target much more consistently, and then you reduce overages. So you're not doing things like adding extra backfill. You're reducing the amount of supplies you got to add in. You'll be able to set things like I want a 6-inch depth or I want a 12-inch depth, whatever the number is, and then it will indicate to you along the way where you're at, right?
And so that's
going to be this top monitor here. This bottom one's going to be standard with the machines. This is, again, the 2D system we have set up.
I don't even think my machines have any electronics whatsoever, unless I mount my phone on the...
Rest assured that no matter the machine, we will have a machine control solution for you that we can integrate.
That's
Yes,
pretty
sir.
awesome.
Well, a little bit about the excavator before we get in there. This is our new D series from New Holland Construction. This is made in-house by C&H Industrial. This is going to be night and day versus our C series excavator, brand new to the brand. We got a couple of different changes from the last one. On this machine, starting from the front and working our way back, we have 2 different stick options, a long and a short. We also have 2 standard auxiliary hydraulics with an option for a third. Furthermore, we have what we call the high flow provision, which is a dedicated line for your attachment. That means that when you have that provision, you're not splitting flow with things like a mulcher, as well as your arm or your travel. In addition, we have our standard blade on this machine. We also have a 6-way blade. In terms of track options, you have the rubber band on here, but we have...
What is a 6-way blade?
So the 6-way blade is we actually have on that E85. It'll come up, it'll come down, it'll go left, it'll go right, and you also have the ability to increase an angle. So you have 6 different positions. So you can see actually right now the way that machine is operating. That's going to be our 6-way blade in one of the level positions. You see how it's rotating back and forth?
Oh, yeah.
So, again, these excavators are night and day with the previous units. This guy will get you about, this 4.2 ton unit we have in front of you will get you about 11 feet, 10 foot, 11 inches of dig depth with a long arm. We also have, again, different track options. Here we have the standard rubber track. We also have rubber track links and full steel as well. In terms of tensioning, it's going to be a grease tensioner system, very similar to the skid steer. We also have a standard pattern changer underneath this panel for all units to switch between ISO and SAE controls.
Oh, nice.
On our back end, we have different counterweight options. So typically these are 0 turn, however, 0 tail. We have a reduced tail when we add the additional counterweight, and we have 3 options for that as well. LED light pack all the way around, standard equipment, as well as the reversing camera. In terms of a motor, this is running a 43 horse power unit in here. And typically you see with most New Holland excavators, we have this front swing tower. We have our E85 out there, which is more of a traditional profile with the side boom. So getting into the machine, we'll get you in there, we'll get you running.
I can't imagine how many times you've said all that. I can't imagine.
Once or twice. What I want to focus on, though, is, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of machine control guys, but guys that are into machine control know about the machine control.
Yeah.
We have so many new features on this excavator, it's night and day. So,
Okay.
So just go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, so we're inside the cab of our E42, the new D series, a New Holland excavator. This unit is set up with a 2D laser grading or 2D machine control system. We can run this 2 different ways. Right now we have it set up with the laser, but we can also benchmark by your bucket tooth. We also have different pads that we can design here, being that it's a 2D system. I have this set up right now for the flat pad system. But what you guys will notice is that it's as easy as hitting an arrow for entering and removing that number for you, and it'll be indicated by the light bar on the end of the machine when you are at or under grade. Now, in addition, we have right now an 18-tooth bucket, or 18-inch tooth bucket. This machine will allow you to pick up to 99 different combinations of buckets. So if you're switching between your 18-inch and your 36-inch ditching bucket, you have the ability to benchmark on either and any of the systems. So right now we have it in our benchmark mode. We also have it set up to laser. We have a 610 rugby like the laser over on the side that's producing about 600 hits per minute in terms of rotating head speed. That's about the minimum that we want to be at. Now, in addition, these machines have neat little features, and this one's going to be our measuring tape, right? So you can go as far as using the excavator to measure between two different points, again, tip to tip. Now, looking at the actual machine monitor, this is going to come standard with all New Holland machines. We have a few different functions and operating modes in here. First, we're going to start off in standard mode, but we also have the ability to put it into power mode and economy mode. So we like to leave it in power. It's going to give you the most breakout force. Now, in addition, these machines, you have the ability to customize a lot of the settings, right? We have an attachment catalog in here, so you can go ahead and set up exactly what you're going to be using. So we have presets for the different attachments. It, of course, runs a bidirectional and a uni circuit. So if you want to run a hammer, you want to run two-way attachment, you absolutely can. Being that we have optional 3 auxiliaries on this unit, you can go as far as doing things like adding steel wrists and tilt rotator buckets. Again, night and day versus the previous offering. Also on these machines, you're going to have a standard hydraulic quick coupler provision. So you're not going to be sharing that with your auxiliary, and you're not going to have to do things like add a diverter valve. So getting into the machine, again, all these suite of different attachment options, and you can also go as far as setting up things like your sensitivity for the attachment. So how do you engage? What's the sensitivity on each individual function and each individual auxiliary? Coming back in here, we also have, of course, the reset to default in case you stray too far from the beaten path. You can always find your way home. Right, going into the service and the settings here, we passcode protect the service area, but the actual settings will allow you to do things like adjust your boom swing sensitivity. These units come standard with the reversing fan, so we can also go as far as adjusting when and how that reversing fan engages. So whether it's forced, whether it's at an automatic interval, whether it's timed, how long does it stay on, all features at your fingertips. So the membrane pad is now standard on these new D-Series excavators, and everything you just navigate through the pad here.
That is fancy. I don't know what's more impressive, the features on this excavator or the fact that you know this information that well. Where do you work again?
New Holland Construction. I'm based out of Canada. I'm the regional sales manager.
There's a reason he's the sales manager.
Thanks, folks. So you're going to put this down if you want to run it?
Yeah.
We're going to give you some RPM, so that's going to be this knob right here. It does have an auto idle feature, but we're not going to use that right now.
I have 4 mini excavators at home.
Oh, what am I?
I have nothing like this.
Oh, okay.
I've never been in anything like this.
So we have it set up right now to ISO control, so to be boom and bucket, stick and swing. If you want backhoe, we can switch it.
Okay.
One thing we should show, the cabs on these tilt forward, so you get underneath and see the swing tower. That's a very good, cool thing to show.
I've never seen that.
I think if you're doing a channel, you might as well see it.
And then if I turn, I take your legs out.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
Can you grab that wrench off the table? Yes, sir.
I have nothing like this.
So did
This
someone
is
give
nothing
you a
like
crash course on the 85?
What's an
The
85?
big excavator? Okay,
No.
so that thing has like a fuel transfer pump. It has ISO walking control, so you can move the excavator with your joystick. We should chat about that one.
I have to catch a flight at like 1 o'clock,
Okay.
which means I don't have a whole lot of time.
No problem. Did you want to flip the cab on this or no?
Yeah, how do you do that?
I got to pull 2 bolts and we flip it. That's it.
So get out.
Yes. And John, you want to give me a hand flipping this in a moment?
Okay, so you're tilting it forward and it can be operated in a forward position?
No, we're tilting the cab so we can get underneath and you can see the...
Oh.
So we do this from
Okay.
a serviceability standpoint. That way you have access to all of the hydraulic lines, the swing tower, everything in between and underneath.
You want to give me a yank?
Yeah, let me pull the bolts and we'll go ahead and flip it over. Now it's as easy as pulling 2 24 mil bolts off the back end. All of our D-Series excavator have this feature so you can get underneath and really get into the components. If you guys ever had a hydraulic leak on an excavator, you guys will know how impressive this clearance is. All right, let's go. You're pulling? Now, I'm not a very big guy, and you can see how easy it is to get underneath there.
Holy cow.
Again, if you've ever had a
It's just
hydraulic
right there.
issue underneath your machine, not that you anticipate it or want it, but ultimately you
Machines are
have
machines.
access. Machines are machines. Again, we have a standard pattern changer too that we mentioned right here.
That's wild. Yeah, that's a high-tech toy.
Yes. Now this unit, of course, has the machine control that we added for this show. So just bear in mind some of the cabling that you're seeing, it's not in its typical place.
Gotcha.
Excellent.
So I would ask you what MSRP is on this, but you only know Canadian dollars.
I'd give you Canadian dollars, yeah. You're looking somewhere around that $78,000 US mark.
Awesome, man.
Cool.
Well, thank you very much.
No problemo. Let's pull it back down.
Hey, thank you very much, man. I appreciate your
Anytime.
time. It's probably the best tour I've ever gotten of any machine in the history of machine tours.
Thank you.
Oh, and thanks for the hat.
No problem. Have a great day.
I just got back home here in Oklahoma, and I'm back with my little Cimarron XH20D, and I feel like I've got poverty machines. You know, I've got this high top HT22 sitting here in front of my shop, and yeah, I feel like I got poverty machines. I mean, not that these machines are bad or not that they're super cheap, but they're not like that New Holland I was running. Man, I knew if I got on these machines, it would just make me want to get one. So anyway, I really appreciate that sales manager, Jay, coming out and talking to me and giving me the whole brochure off the top of his head. Unbelievable. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if the best part of the video was actually the machines or hearing Jay talking about the machines and his wealth of knowledge. Kind of something new I hadn't done before. You know, go over a really high quality machine made in America. But I just wanted to play with some of the machines and see what they were like. And man, I really want one now, especially that mini skid. I think that mini skid would really be a big upgrade. Because I don't know if I've told you guys this, but since I've decided to leave my my job, my career, and go into this, I'm going to start picking up some side jobs, running some equipment for some people to film some more content and make some money. So having a machine like that, I think really would be a big plus. Now, I do plan to run my V1000. I've got the new XC1100 coming. VMAG was going to send me something. I don't think they are anymore. And I've got a new Ripa RS6-2 coming. The Ripa RS6 and the XC1100 are both Kubota D1105 machines. That one's a 1305, so it's actually a more displacement. I just really like the way you could easily level stuff and the way the bucket operated on that. So anyway, thanks for sticking around. I know this was kind of a long one, but it's a lot of information in there. If you have any interest in the New Holland equipment, I know I do, and I'd love to get my hands on one. I'm probably going to visit our New Holland dealership here in Oklahoma City and see what they've got in stock and talk to somebody over there. And maybe I can do some reviews where I'm not rushed. Because I don't know if you gathered, but I was late for my plane. I actually didn't have anything to check. I left there, this video that I left there, and I literally speed walked back, grabbed my bag, hit the front door, got an Uber, went to the airport, went through security, and I got to the gate just as they were boarding. So I wish I could have done more, but hey, you only have so much time in a week. But thanks for sticking around. I appreciate every single last one of you. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. I've got a lot more content coming, a lot of varied content as I go full-time on YouTube. I'm going to have a lot more time to create content. And some of the stuff I'm going to do is my unbelievable collection of attachments, as well as building my carport for all the attachments so I can park them indoors. But anyway, thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.